Hey there. In this video, I'll show you how to combine multiple text files into one. So for example, if you have all of these text files here and you want to append all of them into a single text file, the way to do it is as follows. We're going to create two functions. The first one will give us all the files in a given directory. It's going to check if the file is indeed a text file, and then it will give us a list of all those files that are text files in that directory. And the second function is going to open a new file. If it doesn't exist, it's okay. It will create it by itself. And then it's going to just paste all the contents of those files in the file that we just created. So let's take a closer look at the first function. So for example, if I create this variable, which is dir path, and I'll just paste my path here like so. So now I've created the first variable, which is my path to my dir. So now I will import OS. And if I want to list all the files inside that dir, I can do this code here. And you can see that what I get is a list of all the files inside that dir, including files that are Python and text. I mean, it's all the file. It doesn't do any kind of filtering. So we want to filter out this because it's not a text. Now we're going to loop over each one of our files, and we're going to get its full path. It's important because when we're going to access the file's content later, we need to have the full path. So if, for example, I'll say the file is all files in the first place, this is what I'll get. It's the name of that file, which is what we got earlier. And full path like this will give us the whole path. It will join the dir path and the file's name. So if I'll print file path now, this is what we get. Okay, so this is the first step here, but now we want to ignore the files that are not text files. So I'll use the find method, and find method checks if there is this string in that string. So you can see that in text1.txt, we found where the start index of that string is. And if, for example, we said that the file is the Python file and we did the same check, we will get a -1, which is equivalent to non-existent. So this is what we do in this if statement. And if it's not -1, meaning that it is a text file, so we append it to the list here. And if it doesn't find anything, then it will just ignore the file. So let's run first function. So I'll just copy it to here and I'll run everything. And if I'll just assign what I got into a variable named text files, and I'll run it with my dir path, this is what I get. So that's good. After we run this function, we'll get a list object with all the paths of the text files only. So now we can continue to our next step, which is combining the files. In this function, we receive the list we got before and we loop over it, reading the file contents and pasting it to a single text file. With open is a command that opens up a file. In our case, it's a text file. The reason we use it is because it's much easier for Python and for us. We don't have to close manually the file, and it terminates the open files in a clean way. So we open a file, and it's okay if it's not existent, the file that we want to create, because if it's not existent, it will create it itself. And we call it outfile. And then we loop over every file in the list we got before, and we open all of these files using with open again. And then what we do here is we write to our outfile outfile is our united text file, we write all the content inside the infiles. So we use the infile.read, and I've added here this special character because in my case, I don't have a space between the lines in the original files. So I don't want the end result to be long concatenated string. So I've added this, and it will create space between my lines. So if I run this function, you can see now that I've created a new text file, which I called it united. And if I open it up, then I see the content that was in the other text files. So the end result is this. We give it a dir path. We assign a variable named all files, and we assign to it a list of all the files that we got in a specific dir. And then we just unite all the files using a different function. And that's it. So thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you at the next video. Goodbye.